Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Okay, so today we will enter the new chapter, chapter 8, and this chapter is the second last chapter before you end this subject. Okay, so the chapter 8 title is Estimation and Hypothesis Testing for Two Populations. Okay, so basically, what you will learn, okay, for this chapter is you will learn estimation. Okay, that's is estimation. We already learned in chapter 6, and it's combination of hypothesis testing also, which is you already learned in week 7, and we combine these two topics, it become one chapter. But this time around you will learn both estimation and hypothesis, but in the two population. Okay, for two population. So before this, you just learn it for one population only. Okay, right? So this is what we call the chapter 8 all about. Okay, next. Okay, so this is the objective here. So we have 3 objectives. So in the end of the chapter, you will be able to construct the confidence interval. So this is the estimation, and perform a hypothesis testing about the difference between two population. Okay, and this is for mean, for large. Okay, mean. Okay, we have two, right? We have mean and we have proportion. So the objective number 1 is we find the estimation and also hypothesis testing for means, and it is for large sample. Okay, and then for objective number 2, it's same thing. We construct the confidence interval and then hypothesis testing for two different population mean. Okay, still mean, but now it's a for small sample. Okay, we have two sample, two sizes, which is n when n is large when n is greater and equal to 30, and is small when n is less than 30. So objective number 2 is we focus on the small sample, and class for the small sample we have another 2 categories, which is the first one is equal standard deviation and the second one is unequal standard deviation. Okay, class, so this is maybe this is new lah. Okay, equal standard deviation and also unequal standard deviation. And for objective number 3 is we will construct the confidence interval, the same thing, and hypothesis testing for two population, but now it's a proportion. Okay, proportion lah pula. Okay, just now for these two is means for large sample only. Okay, only because for proportion, if you are still remember for chapter estimation and also hypothesis testing also, we just consider one size, which is large. Okay, we didn't find out the small for proportion, only for means. Okay, for mean, yes, they have two, large and small. Okay, all right. So so this is what I call the map. Okay, about what we will learn for this chapter lah. Okay, inferences about difference between two populations. So in this chapter we will focus on mean and also proportion. Okay, we will focus these two, mean and also proportion. So for mean, okay, we divide into 2, which is large sample, which is n greater and equal to 30, right? Okay, and also another one is small sample when your n is less than 13. And for small sample, we have another one category that we need to consider is equal and also unequal standard deviation. Okay, actually this slide is referring to your objective just now, but I just make it in term of map ataupun error map lah kan, dia kurang lah, tree diagram. Okay, to make it you get more understanding lah what we will learn in this chapter. Okay, and then for proportion we only consider for large sample. Okay, alright, so we go to the first one. The first one is about the inferences about the difference between two population means. Okay, we focus for mean first for large. Okay, mean for large sample. Okay, so class, we have 3 we have 3 objectives. We will focus on means and for large sample, then we will focus for means and small sample, and the last one we focus on proportion large sample only. Okay, next. Alright, so basically this similar like chapter number 6. Okay, we have point estimate, we have interval estimate. So but the difference here is we focus on two population. Okay, two population. So therefore, okay, for point estimate you can see that they have a mu1 and mu2. Okay, if for single or for one population only, we just have mu equal to x bar, is it? Okay, this one you already learned in chapter 6, but now we are on chapter 8 in the two populations, so therefore this is how we find the point estimate. So mu1, which is mean for first sample minus with the mean of second sample, is equal to sample mean for the first sample minus sample mean for the second sample. Okay, I'm sorry if you didn't, if they have a missed pixel, okay, because I just screenshot from the PDF, so I just, yeah. So if you want to get more clearly, you can refer to the PDF notes. Alright, so then interval, okay, interval estimates. Okay, class, so is point estimate also they have a MOE. So you still remember or not? MOE. MOE is stand for margin of error. So margin of error so is equal to plus minus 1.96, is it? Okay, 1.96, and then they have S bar or sigma S bar lah. Okay, but this is for single or one population. Now we have two populations, so that means for instead of you write that this, there will be S x bar 1 minus x bar 2. Okay, so this is how the margin of error for two population lah. Okay, it's nothing much different, just the notation, just cara tulis tu je. Okay, instead of only one as x bar, but now we have two lah. Okay, two population. Okay, so we go to the interval estimate. For interval estimate, okay, this is the what we call the Z lah kan, betul tak? No, this is in front here is mu. Okay, so this is how we find the interval estimate. So yeah, it's similar, 99% similar, just the difference here is only this part. Okay, you can see that they have a minus. So just tak ada apa pun, just tolak je. Sample mean the first one minus sample mean the second sample, right? And then the formula is still the same. Okay, and for the sigma, okay, if sigma is known, therefore you will use sigma lah. Okay, sigma is standard deviation for population. Okay, so how to find this one? Okay, this is the formula. Okay, alright. Kalau sebelum ni cuma satu je. Okay, if you still remember, we just consider sigma over n, just only one. But now we are in two population, so this is how the what we call the formula to get the sigma. Okay, and then the second one, if your sigma is unknown, so unknown means that we just use s lah. Okay, nothing much different pun, tak ada apa beza pun. So this is the formula. Okay. Alright, now okay, we go to the hypothesis testing. Okay, class, we have two, estimation and also hypothesis testing. So for the hypothesis testing, we still have null and alternative hypothesis. Okay, we have two. So for null hypothesis, alright, so we have two, So okay, if before this we just write mu equal to 0 for h naught, for example, and mu not equal to 0. Allah. Okay, right. So they have only one mu only, but now we have two. So we need to dedicate it mu1 and mu2. So for the null hypothesis, okay, remember class, for null hypothesis, they always have a equal sign. Okay, like this one exactly equal, and this one is greater than equal, and this is less than equal. So they must have a equal sign. Okay, so they have two ways lah to write. So either you write mu1 equal to mu2 or mu1 minus mu2 equal to 0. But I prefer this one, class. I prefer we do it like this way. Okay, I think lah, I think this one is more what we call to avoid the confusing happen. Okay, so saya rasa okay, we just focus on this part lah. Alright, so how we write it for h null or h naught mu1 minus mu2. Always, okay class, always mu1 minus mu2, always mu1 minus mu2. And this one, as I said just now, for H0 must be equal or greater than equal or less than equal. So automatic, okay, automatic, your H1, your alternative is complement to it. So if this one is equal, so therefore this is not equal. If this one is greater than equal, therefore this one must be less than. And here, if this one is less than equal, this one must be greater than. Okay, right? So tak ada beza pun. Just they have two population only. That's all. They have two population. Okay, and then still in hypothesis testing. So this is how the formula for test statistic. If you still remember, we have steps, right? We need to find the first step is you stated the H0 and H1, and then you find the test statistic. So this is the way or the formula to get your test statistic. But for the single or for the one population, we just have S1 minus mu only, kan? Tak ada S1 lah, S bar minus mu, that's all. But now we are in two population, so that's why we need to declare S1 bar. Okay, S1 lah, kena ada S1 dengan S2. Okay, alright, and how to, okay, because if for single or for one population, it's always mentioned in the question, what is your mu? If we mention mu equal to 100, for example, but for two population, sometimes it doesn't mention the mu value. It's just mention the S bar, the sample. So how we want to replace this one? Okay, this is how we want to substitute this one. We will substitute mu1 minus mu2 is based on your H0, and your H0 always be 0 actually. Kalau you tengok semua ni, kan, H0 mu1 minus mu2 equal to 0. mu1 minus mu2 equal or greater than equal 0. Maksudnya they have equal sign, right? And the number that you can see here is 0. So it's easy for you to calculate untuk two population. So means that you will replace this one with 0. Okay, you refer to your H0 lah. Sometimes maybe lah H0 dia ada value, okay, maybe, but usually almost every time, or not every time, almost every time will be 0 lah. Okay, alright. Okay, so now we go to the second objective. So second objective is about the inferences about the difference between two population mean. Okay, we are still in mean, but now it's for small sample. Okay, for the small sample. So for the small sample, as I said just now in the earlier slide, we have two. We need to consider the first one is equal standard deviation, and the second one is unequal standard deviation. Okay, so we go back for this slide. We consider for the equal first. Equal. So the formula will be the same. Okay, tak ada beza pun. For point estimate, interval estimate is the same. But now you can see for interval estimate, they need to use T table. Okay, instead of Z, we need to use T. Okay, because it's a small size, right? Okay, so how to find, okay, T and T tak ada masalah. You can use the T table already. We already experienced to use T table. But now, okay, see what I've circled, just this one. What I have circled here. So S1 bar minus S2 bar actually is equal to this formula. Okay, this formula. You need to use this formula. Okay, it's different. Instead of, if you can, okay, this one is for what you call the large sample only. But now for small sample is different. Okay, SP and then square root 1 over n1 plus 1 over n2. And what is your SP? Okay, what is your SP? SP here is given by this formula. So you need to, I'm not sure whether this formula is given or not, but I'm most probably it will given lah. Okay, tak silap saya dia memang akan bagi dalam appendix, alright? But if dia tak bagi pun, this one your exam or your final is open book, is it? So you can just what we call, just can get the reference from this slide. Okay, alright, so you can see here, note, okay, degree of freedom, because you are using T table. So class, for T table is different. How we want to use the T table and Z table is different. For T table, you need to have a degree of freedom. And how to find the degree of freedom is it? Okay, so because this one saya tulis directly, so actually n1 one here actually must be the small one lah, like this. Okay, like this. n1 plus n2 minus 2. So n1 plus n2 minus 2 this is how we find your degree of freedom. Okay. Right, this is for equal, for equal standard deviation. So now we go to unequal. Okay, for unequal, so the same thing, point estimate sama, interval estimate pun sama, we use t-table, but now, okay, look at the what I circle this one. So this is the formula to find your S. Okay, it's different, it's different from the equal line. Okay, so careful, So you need, when you get the question, you need to identify first whether this question is equal standard deviation or unequal standard deviation. So that's the important lah. Okay. And degree of freedom. Okay, degree of freedom also the different formula here. You can see it's quite complicated here. It looks like complicated, but actually it's not. If you already if you have the value already, so you just substitute and then you will get the answer. Okay. Alright. Okay, so we comes to the third one, the last one. The last objective is inference about the difference between two population proportion. Okay, so now we focus on the proportion for large. Okay, so it's a consider only large. Okay. So we have point estimate, same thing, but now the different formula, of course, the different formula. The formula will be mu P1 P2 equal to P1 minus P2. Okay, P1 proportion 1 minus P2. Yeah, that's it. And then what's the interval estimate? So P1 head minus P2 head plus minus Z alpha over 2 as P1 P head as P2 head. So yeah, it's basically the same like what we have done in chapter 6. But now the SP, this is the formula. Okay. Right, so you need to substitute this, okay, you need to substitute this into this one, okay. Alright, so now we go to the hypothesis testing. So we have similar. So I just want you to focus this one only, okay. Actually the same thing lah, cuma saya rasa better we focus on one thing only, okay, and then we expert on that part. Jangan kejar banyak tapi you tak expert anyone in either one. Okay, so P1 minus P2 equal to 0, P1 minus P2 less greater than equal to 0, and so on lah. Okay, it's similar. Okay, alright, so last one here is the test statistic for proportion is given by P1 head minus P2 head minus P1 minus P2. So same thing, P1 minus P2 is equal to 0 lah. Okay, if you get from, we will get from your H0, and usually and most probably is equal to 0. And SP1P head is equal to this formula, class. Okay, so careful class. So I just want to highlight here. SP1 for interval estimate is different. Okay, yang ni this one is different between this. Sama ke tidak? Tak kan? So it's different. So make sure you classify carefully when you do it. What we call point estimate or interval estimate, and when you do it for hypothesis testing, so it's different. Okay, and P head, what is P head? P head is equal to this x1 plus x2 over n1 plus n2 or this. So same thing, I just focus, or I just prefer you focus one thing lah. Okay, so P head, then you will substitute here lah kat sini P head. And how about Q head? Q head is just 1 minus P head. Okay, that's all. Okay, 1 minus P head. Oh, P bar, sorry, P bar. So class P head, P bar is sama lah. Sama-sama. Okay. Alright class, so that's all I think for this chapter 8. So yeah, basically this chapter is combination of two chapter, which is chapter 6 estimation and also chapter 7 hypothesizing, but the new thing, the new lah for you is cover of two population. Okay, so that's all. Right, so thank you.